morning there where you're at, so thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but Jonah, of course, is in Minnesota. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to just relocate, dude. I think that's where we need to be home, Biv. But glad you're on the show, man.
I don't know if I'd recommend for anybody to live here, man. It's like living in the Arctic North.
Well, you know what's funny? I have a friend of mine who lives in Zimmerman, and he took a picture of the de-icer, you know, what you use at a gas station to clean your windshield. And It was a snow cone, dude. Like, the entire solution was frozen at the gas station. And I went, oh, my gosh, it's really cold there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now. I don't even want to leave the house.
Well, Jonah, as Jason had alluded to, that I saw the Sentinels project. I think it was a sponsored ad on Facebook that I saw, and I immediately saw you and Matt Barlow, and I thought, well, this is awesome. You two haven't been together, since, other than the appearance last year at Prog Power USA. You guys were last, I guess, recorded together anyway, approximately 10 years ago. Is that about right?
Yeah. The Pyramaze Immortal album came out in 2008, so almost 10 years ago.
So I'm assuming this project was kind of born out of that relationship and maybe even rekindled a little bit at his appearance at Prog Power.
Yeah, that's an accurate assessment. There was a few things that led to this collaboration. I think the main thing is just that Matt's a super cool guy, and he's a good buddy of mine. And then also, of course, the obvious musical chemistry that we have. There was a ballad on the Immortal record called Legacy in a Rhyme, and that really struck a chord with a lot of people, and I've had a lot of people come to me and tell me that it's their favorite Pyramaze song ever, or on that album at least. And it's just keyboards and vocals. So after Prog Power, Matt and I were talking about doing something together, and I mean, the metal band thing seems kind of obvious, and Matt actually had the idea of basically becoming heavy metal's first lounge act, which I laughed at, and then I was like, oh yeah, that might be cool, He's like, yeah, let's just make a duo. You just write the music, and then I'll write the lyrics and the vocal melodies, and we'll record it, and we'll make a whole album. Me being a huge fan of movie score music and cinematic orchestration and trailer music and all that kind of stuff, I got to work right away over the last few months. I got in the recording studio, and I just started laying down some ideas. And, and of course I'm thinking like Barlow's voice is so powerful and rich. What can I do? What kind of music can I make that will complement his vocals the best? And, of course, I was thinking like, okay, so Legacy in a Rhyme, it was piano and strings and then vocals and stuff like that. So obviously I did some of that, but I was also doing some really like kind of bigger sounding stuff with timpani and, like orchestrative percussions and stuff like that. And, some staccato type strings and big choirs and everything. So basically, the music I'm making is, just sort of like epic film music. And then he's going to sing on it with his awesome voice. And I think it'll come out really good.
Wow, that's really cool. So let me ask you, because, again, if you were, real far apart, you would assume that, in today's day and age in which you can essentially send music back and forth to each other pretty simply, and, you do your stuff in your studio and then he, records in his, is that how you're putting the album together? Or is that the plan? Or are you going to possibly do some like in-studio time together to put the album together?
Yeah, we're toying with the idea of him flying out here, so I can produce them in the studio out this way. I do some vocal production type stuff. I really enjoy doing that. But I mean, we're just, we're kind of still tossing around some ideas as far as what the best plan of action is to go.
Cool.
Of course, there's some good studios, I'm sure, within driving distance of him. But I don't know. So I guess we'll see what happens with that.
Well, Jonah, speaking of Pyramaze, is there any plans in the immediate future for a new CD? Do we have anything to look forward to in 2017 or maybe early 2018?
2017. We are working on putting the finishing touches on our 5th album.
Sweet.
Nice.
It's the best thing we've ever done, and I'm not blowing smoke. It really is. It's our most mature and epic album to date. We originally actually planned on trying to get it out in 2016, but we decided, hey, you know what? This is a big deal for us. Why rush it? Why not take our time and make it the best thing that we could ever do, And so, we've had a lot of fans be like, what happened to the album you said you were going to put out in 2016? And so, of course, our answer is always, oh, yeah, well, it's coming soon, don't worry. But it really is actually coming soon.
Do you have a working album title for that?
We do. I can't say what it is yet, though, of course.
Oh. No, yeah. and speaking of Pyramaze, and speaking of your music, you mentioned Legacy of a Rhyme is a fan favorite, and it, not having all of the quote unquote makeup of a traditional metal song, obviously, as far as instruments are concerned. When you posted on your Facebook page about, hey, here's Sentinels, we're proving we can make some pretty killer music without guitars. I was reading some of the comments, and some of the comments were, I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, it's you and Barlow. I trust you, but I don't know. So what would you say to somebody who's a flat-out skeptic of, I just don't know, man, in regards to this project?
I think thinking that we can't make awesome music without guitars and drums and stuff like that in a traditional sense, it's a little closed-minded, but I get where they're coming from because historically speaking, primarily the music that me and Matt are known for is that kind of stuff. Obviously, him with Iced Earth and me with Pyramaze and everything that I've done. But, I think that this project sort of raises the question, can you make metal without guitars and traditional instruments that it's associated with? Could we have an album that is so epic and powerful simply using keyboards and piano and vocals that it could still fall under the umbrella of metal, which is a large umbrella when you think about it?
Sure.
I think, if anyone could do that, I think it's me and Matt. And we both really believe in what we're doing, and we believe in each other, and we know what we're capable of.
And I am not the kind of metal purist, and I can't speak for Biv, but, some of my favorite songs that on the surface don't appear to be heavy, when you really get into them emotionally, are heavier than heck in a weird way. Like, not, instrument-wise, but just emotionally. You get that sense, you get that feeling. So I have absolute confidence, 100%, that you guys could easily do that.
Thank you. I mean, the stuff's coming out great. He's been demoing up vocals in his little home studio. And it's very inspired, and it's unique. So, yeah, I mean, I have high hopes for it. And the response that we've received and how many people it's reached on social media and all that has been really inspiring. And we're like, wow, okay, this is going to be even bigger than we thought. This could be huge, We're throwing ourselves into it.
I was just going to ask real quick. Now, as I mentioned before, you guys had kind of come together last year at Prog Power, and believe it or not, I've never been. I'm going this year for the first time. I got all my tickets day 1 through 4. But can you tell the fans that haven't been there before what that experience is like? How is Prog Power different than any other venue or, I guess, concert, or how is it different? Is the vibe different?
Yeah, it is. Prog Power is really it's just a big family. It seems like everybody knows everybody, and there's not a lot of egos floating around and stuff like that. So it's really it's really nice. And I met a lot of my fans there this year, and who are now my friends. And I think that there's a lot of that going around. Where it's just bunch of people that all love this kind of music, and some of us play it and some of us appreciate it and listen to it as a fan. And I think that the line between those two things kind of gets blurred there because of the community environment.
Mm-hmm.
And the promoters are really great people, and they're in it for the right reason. They love the music, and it really is different. I've been there as a fan too, just to visit before, and then of course I've performed there twice now. And, so I love it.
And when we had Lacey Mucklow on the show, of course, who was there, when we asked her, like, what was your highlight? She far and away said, almost everybody there felt, Pyramaze's show with Barlow and Lance King was back in the fold. It was a big freaking deal. And everyone just walked away feeling, holy crap, this was an epic show. But from your standpoint, on your end, did you kind of have the same vibe?
Yeah, my thoughts were this was the greatest moment of my life. After we were done playing, I just walked to the edge of the stage, and I could just feel so much energy and appreciation from the crowd. It was just the sea of people and so many faces out in the audience that I knew. And, it was just really amazing. I'll never forget it. And it was, the best moment of my life, truly. And I have played a lot of festivals over in Europe and stuff like that, and they've all been great. But, of course, this sort of was more symbolic, for me. It was the culmination of my discography and my whole history with this band.
Right.
Me and Morton being the only original members from the very beginning. Jakob was always there producing us and stuff like that too. But, I've been through all this with the lineup changes and the various singers and stuff. But to be able to share the stage with all of them, and to play the best songs from all our albums, and then of course for us to do Disciples of the Sun all together with all three singers was just awesome. That's a once in a lifetime thing. And
please tell me there's a DVD release of that coming soon.
Oh yeah,
it might be in the work.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I always have to be so elusive in these interviews.
It's cool
because there's always behind the scenes things that I'm not allowed to reveal and say. I don't want to get in trouble. So, but
sure.
We did film it, so I will say that that's not a secret. So we'll see. I think the fans just really need to get out there and let the label know, Interwound, that this is that they want that they want the Blu-ray to come out, and and we'll make it happen, I think.
Well, here's something we can announce, and here's something, of course, I know that you wouldn't mind sharing with us, but, with everything that you do, and especially with Disciples of the Sun being an incredible album, is there, every time we have somebody on the show, we want to highlight at least one song from the artist. If there's a song, maybe you've never heard our guests and the music they do, we want to be able to play at least one song that you said, hey, if you had 5 minutes, check this out, because this is my band and this is what I do. So for you, Jonah, what would be the song that would be the quintessential song we should play for people who want to check out what you guys do?
I think I'd go with Back for More from the Disciples of the Sun album by Pyramaze, because I think that it's got everything in there. It's got catchy melodies. It's got powerful vocals, lots of cool keyboards, fantastic drums, and it's very anthemic, and it will get stuck in your head.
Very cool. Well, let's check that out right now, actually. This is off of Pyramaze's most recent album. Of course, they have a new one coming out in the works in 2017, which we cannot wait to talk more about. But for now, here's Pyramaze. Back for more.